Why do you think he didn't offer this to you?
I think because they don't want to do the paperwork. They do not want to do no paperwork.
A mother outraged after she says her daughter's middle school principal did not offer her what they call a bullying package after she went to him for help over and over again.
Live, this is News 12. News first at 5 on your side.
Good evening, I'm Richard Rogers.
And I'm Christy Etheridge. A mother says she's been talking to the school for at least a month about a conflict between a few girls and her daughter.
The mother says if the principal had started the paperwork, something they call a bullying package, that would have never happened.
Liz Owens is on your side investigating why nobody from the middle school offered it to her.
That's right, Christy. The bullying or harassment package includes several reports where a parent can begin documenting cases involving his or her child. It's used by school officials to investigate cases of bullying, but this mother says she didn't find out about it until it was too late.
Another day,
Just about every other day.
another drive to Glen Hills Middle School.
When it becomes every day, all day, the same people every day, all day, that's not a kid being a kid. That's a kid being a bully.
Tiquana Carter says the problems for her middle schooler began about a month ago
Cursing, just out of calling her bees.
when she and a couple girlfriends had a falling out.
Went up to the school. I let the school know what was going on.
When was this?
This was back in December.
Carter says she talked to staff at Glen Hills over and over again, but nothing changed. She finally called the Board of Education last week.
She said, did you fill out a bully packet? I said, a bully packet? What is that?
A bullying or harassment report form is where a parent can document cases involving his or her child.
They're supposed to offer you that. Therefore, they can do an investigation. And then you meet with, once they finish the investigation, you meet with the parents of the kids, and y'all basically try to mediate the situation before it gets out of hand.
But she says nobody from the school offered it to her. She only got it after she found out about it and asked for it.
I said, you never offered me a bully packet. You know, even before that, he said, well, you know, it's a lot to go with this bully packet. It's a lot of paperwork.
She turned in all that paperwork Thursday, and a meeting with the other girls' parents was scheduled. But before that, this happened.
I cried.
Carter did get her meeting with the other parents on Monday after the fight. She says those parents were furious. School staff had not contacted them earlier.
So this worked,
Yes.
but it took the Board of Education to tell you about this.
Yes.
Not your daughter's principal, not your daughter's assistant principal, not a secretary in the school.
Not nobody that was there to protect my child. And I'm telling you that I'm having this issue.
Her trust is gone, and so is her daughter from Glen Hills Middle School.
Carter is working right now to transfer her daughter out of the middle school.
And you've reached out to the school. What do they have to say about this?
Well, they say that Carter did not bring the issue of bullying to her until last week. Of course, the mom says she brought it to him in December. The school also said that they thought it was a disagreement between friends. The word bullying wasn't used until last week.
So bullying might trigger the whole process
Exactly.
to start. But a lot of parents will be surprised to hear there is such a thing as a bullying packet, and the paperwork has to be done.
And it definitely sounds like it works. It's a way you can record cases, and then the school can use that to investigate cases of bullying.
Interesting. Hated had to come to that fight, though,
Yes.
Liz. Thank you.
Georgia's Board of Education spells out the procedures for reporting bullying. Administrators are required to investigate the claims no later than the following school day, notify parents or guardians of the accused and the victim, discipline the bully with an age-appropriate consequence, and follow up with the accused and the victim. In South Carolina, the State House passed the Safe School Climate Act in 2006, saying all South Carolina school districts had to write their own policy by 2007.
Breaking news out of Atlanta, and we have live pictures to show you. A Georgia State trooper shot today after a chase on I-75. All this happening on the interstate just north of Atlanta. These are live pictures of the interstate where traffic is still moving slowly. You can tell there are men there down on the street, so the investigation is still going on. People out of the cars are parked, but investigators say a suspect was also shot in this, both taken to a hospital. The governor's office says that trooper was conscious, but the suspect's condition was not known. Again, big traffic backups right now during the rush hour, I-75 just north of Atlanta.
Cloudy skies out there today. Not really a whole lot of rain yet. We do have some showers on Doppler Max radar riding along a cold front, which is not going to be moving much over the next day or so. We've got those showers out there. The heaviest stuff is to our southeast right now. And as we head into this evening, there'll be some isolated showers out there. Temperatures kind of mild, actually, a little bit warmer today than expected. We're going to fall into the 40s as we head toward this evening. More details on this rain coming up.
Well, new at 5, a private business that wants to put a controversial pipeline on private land has made a hefty donation to a local school. Strom Thurmond High School says Kinder Morgan handed them a $50,000 check in front of the whole school. They also handed out a 23-page packet explaining the economic impact of the pipeline county by county. We have a full copy of that on our website, WRDW.com.
Some call it fear-mongering, but one Augusta veterinarian says it's crucial information about your safety and feral cats. As Augusta leaders get set to vote on a new animal ordinance, one vet tells them about what he calls a critical component that's being left out. Cody O'Hara live in our newsroom with why trap, neuter, return is so controversial here. Cody.
Richard, right now TNR is something animal groups do whenever they see feral cats. The city isn't involved at all. Animal advocates want city support of TNR, but one Augusta vet is taking it to the next level. We've got the numbers and we'll let you decide. Dr. Mark Tribby has been caring for animals for nearly 30 years, and he's helped shape this proposed animal ordinance.
I care about the TNR volunteers as well as the staff that works with neutering and spaying.
Dr. Tribby wants the commission to adopt a program whose goal is trapping, vaccinating, and adopting out as many cats as possible. But Tribby's proposal would quarantine them first for 3 months. If there are any signs of rabies, the cats would be immediately killed, not just returned to the wild the next day after being fixed.
Aggressive adoption and estimating how many cats need to be spayed and neutered, then assessing can you afford to spay that number that's critical.
Tribby outlined to commissioners what he calls a significant public health risk to people around wild cats. TNR volunteers say he is fear-mongering.
I think the biggest risk that they do not address is the serious incidence of rabies that wildlife and cats have and do transmit to Georgians every year.
Dr. Tribby told commissioners 1,000 Georgians were treated for rabies last year. Whether or not they actually contracted the virus, Georgia public health numbers confirm 1,300 people were at risk last year. The latest CDC study from 2013 shows 34 cases of humans contracting rabies since 2003, but none of those were in Georgia and none were because of cats.
I understand you care for the animal you see in front of them, and it's humane, it's kind-hearted, but what about the cats that are uninfected with diseases?
The CDC says of the animals that were diagnosed with rabies, only about 4% were cats. But the people trapping and releasing now say his plan would cost too much and is unnecessary. But he says it's the responsible thing to do.
I think people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, those types, people with money that do have very great love for animals, we should enlist, private and public donations to get it.
The National Best Friends Animal Society submitted their response to the commission, calling Tribby's plan misrepresenting the threats posed by cats, impractical to the point of absurdity, and say it would result in the killing of cats on an unprecedented level. Now, the 3-month quarantine is also coming under fire from TNR volunteers who say that it's not even possible. The CDC does say if you were bitten by a cat that appeared healthy at the time, it can be confined for 10 days. They add no person in the U.S. has ever contracted rabies from a cat quarantined for 10 days. Commissioners are set to discuss TNR and the animal ordinance on Tuesday.
An interesting issue. Thank you, Cody. Well, a date has been set for the new Aiken County Satellite Office coming to North Augusta. The office will set up shop in the municipal building in the finance office starting on Monday. It'll be open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to pay taxes and renew vehicle registration. If it goes well, the county says they plan on putting another office in Wagner.
More convenient for a lot of people. And North Augusta welcomed a brand new business today. 200 MEDAC employees turning out for this Welcome to North Augusta event at the Arts and Heritage Center that is also in the municipal building right across the street from the new MEDAC building. MEDAC moved its headquarters across the river from Augusta last year.
A bipartisan group of senators moves to hold more schools responsible in reporting acts of sexual violence on their college campuses. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer talks with one student who's taken matters into her own hands.
People knew that it happened, but it really wasn't discussed.
When word got around American University that an underground fraternity had sent emails referencing sexual assault and rape, student body president Sophia Worth fired back, putting campus sexual assault at the top of her agenda. But she found it isn't always at the universities.
It does look shameful, I think, and the university knows that.
Sophia took matters into her own hands, pulling together $20,000 from 3 school organizations to create a mandatory education program for all incoming students.
The first 6 weeks of college are considered to be the red zone for sexual assaults. That's when the highest frequency of sexual assaults occurs, and so we really wanted to nip it in the bud.
It's the kind of grassroots movement that was portrayed in the documentary The Hunting Ground, where 2 victims of sexual assault joined together to fight back against the underreporting of their institutions, taking it all the way to Washington.
That issue came to me from 2 young women who asked to come to see me after they'd really seen my work on military sexual trauma. And they said, you know, these incidents are happening every day, and they actually happen to us on our college campus.
New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand helped introduce legislation that would protect students and boost accountability and transparency at colleges and universities across the nation. But Sophie says it's not only up to the federal government to take a stand.
When you see the numbers of how frequent the cases are and how deeply survivors are affected by these incidences, I think not being involved was just never an option for me.
Currently, 159 universities are under federal investigation by the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights for alleged violations of Title IX related to the handling of sexual violence.
Trump is out. He won't be joining the rest of the Republican candidates as they take the Fox News stage for the last debate before the Iowa caucuses.
Looks like these rain chances will be with us at least through tomorrow. We'll talk about that and also a pretty nice weekend ahead as well.
And a sales trend toward men's beauty. What products and services more and more millennial men are spending their money on.